here we go. At the Donner Hard Enduro, racing C class. My first Hard Enduro. Very excited to be racing here. I wanted to be hard, and Donner brought it, I thought. Right off the bat, the bike doesn't start. I'm left in the dust. And it doesn't start for a while here. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's been starting fine, never had an issue. And I don't know if the dust from the other classes started ahead of me or what it was, but it took forever. It seems like forever. When everyone's gone and you're sitting there, it just seems like it's an eternity. So, this is going to be a shit show with that late start. And I'm going to find out that I'm very out of shape. Extremely out of shape. They should rename this to the Extremely Out of Shape Hard Enduros. Only the top 10 riders probably have the conditioning to actually finish one of these. Coming up here, we're going to get to our first bottleneck. And when you get one of these, it is a shit show. Like, you see him on the channels, but when you get to one of these bottlenecks, people are trying to go every direction they can to get through. It really isn't too hard an obstacle here. It's just narrow for the main start. You gotta love the amateur class, because it's these guys, it's any way you can get through. I'm gonna go left here, and you see bikes are bumping, people are running over feet, leaning on each other. You're just plowing through this bush on the left. Right, trying to make it through. And we're going to cross over this open side hill action here onto our first granite slab area, right into the next bottleneck. Now, that from the start you can see that granite slab, and you can see the A riders and the B riders are already getting stuck. So I already knew this was going to be a problem area. I'd walked it the day before, and I was thinking I would do this mid-level line, which actually worked out really well. I think that was the only thing I did good in this Hard Enduro, was pick this mid-line level. The rest of the Hard Enduro, I picked the wrong line and on everything I did. This was the only good line I did, so I'm really proud of it. Ton of people on the top, ton of people on the bottom, and I knew that's where everyone would be. So when I walked it, I was like, no one's going to pick the middle, and it worked out pretty good. For as many people were there, I got through this fairly quickly. One more little rock to hop over here, and I'll be through. It's pretty steep, but you do not want to go fall to the right at all. Come on, Trixie, let's go. You see all the people stuck on the right, past a ton of people on the left. Alright, we're through. My confidence is high. I was like, hell yeah. Here's another little line. I said, I'm getting around these people. That was about the end of my highlight. The rest of the race got really hard, really fast. So there's a little ledge right here, and I knew I could pop over it. I knew I was going to have to push. Not good with my splatters. And it took a lot of energy. I mean, I cut out a lot, but I finally got through it. It would have been way far ahead just to wait in line and conserve a ton of energy instead of trying to force it up here. I mean, I could say that the rest of the race. I gotta figure out how to conserve energy and not just gas myself so bad trying to get through these obstacles.
Can I go that way?
Still a line on the left. I saw some, when I walked it before, I knew I could go on the left here, but yeah, I'm gassed. Like, I'm catching every hole. If there's a hole there, my tire's going right in it. Alright, finally made it through. I had to catch my breath. I wanted to go right, this guy falls right ahead of me. And just seeing him slide down right there, I was like, I'm going left. Which, whatever, you know. I probably would have fell too. I was exhausted. I'm like 20 minutes in already to the race, and I was really exhausted. There's a little rocky slab section we had to go down. I get hung up a little rock, which, you know, when you got people behind you, and you're like, I don't want to be that guy that causing the clog. But I got through it, turned right. We're gonna go down this little creek, which is nice. I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm trying to look for my wife. Actually, my wife's out here somewhere, and I found out she didn't even go up the trail at all. She just stayed back at the lodge there. So the whole time there's crowd. I kept looking out in the crowd, trying to see if I could see her, but of course she wasn't there. Creek, guy cheering me on. Hell yeah. I'm still pumped. I'm feeling good. And I'm tired, but I'm feeling good. And then here is the biggest bottleneck of the entire race. This is what it looks like when you run C-Class. If you look at the pros or the A's, there's like no one there. There's like flying through this. When you come in the C's, it almost makes you want to start with, you know, go up to an A just so you're not going to have these bottlenecks. The top line wasn't moving at all, so I came down to this bottom line. And this guy, he falls, he gets pinned, so his bike falls, pins his leg, and stops. So you know, I'm trying to push now. So my momentum stopped. And he's like, help, help. So then I'm like, all right. So I'm holding up my bike with my right hand here, and then I'm gonna pick his bike up with my left hand.
Got it.
Now the guy right in front of me to the right, he just popped his chain. So his chain's off his bike, and this takes a while to do. It's not too steep, but just because everyone stopped, you're not getting any momentum, no run up, and I started with too much air pressure on the bike. I'm going to lower it down a little bit later on. I usually would be able to get up this. The other guy, his change pops, so he's got to go back down. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I was like, man, I hope my chain doesn't pop off. This guy's stuck. Like, we're stuck on the slope. It would have been much better to be at the bottom and kind of wait for it to clear out and then make a good run at it. Like down there. I should have waited down there and been a little bit more patient, but a lot of these things, people don't wait, they just get up in the line, and then if you think you're just going to wait and wait and wait, well, you're just going to keep getting passed. So you got to just muscle it up. So that's what I do. Finally, I just push, muscled up here. Get right here, and I let out the clutch, and the bike keeps bogging down, like the RPMs are bogging down. What the heck's going on? So let out the clutch a little bit more. It's bogging down. And something's wrong. I started looking down. My overheating, melt my piston. What the hell's going on? Like, the bike doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Sure enough, look down. My chain has popped off my sprocket. It's like, oh my god. And I remembered seeing a video where someone put their chain back on. You just put it on, spin spin the tire backwards. Luckily, I didn't have a link brake, so I was like, if I had a link that was broken, I would have been screwed. I should carry a little master link kit so I can fix that. The guy right to my left of me up here, I don't know if it is the same guy now that was before, but his chain pops off as well. So he's coming to grab his bag. He's got to push his bike over and figure out his chain situation. Oh, that was so taxing. I was so tired. But you finally get up here, get up in line, and a lot of people are just like catching their breath, waiting for the turn, which was pretty nice just to be able to catch your breath. You know that someone went down, the tape went down right here, and people are going, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go here. They might have just opened it up, you know, people. It's so bottleneck, you gotta just make a little bit extra room for the people to get through. She made it up that. I wanted to go right, but the person there was right ahead of me. I knew you could go up and over here, so we go up and over. And there's two routes. You can go to the right, or you can go to the left. And to the right, this little zigzag. Once you go over this little ridge, you got to zigzag up, and there was a big line of people. And to the left's a much harder route. Another one. I'm like every choice I made after that first initial slab. Every choice I made was the wrong choice. I ended up going left, and this part wasn't so hard. So I made it through here relatively easy. It's just a little crack. The front tire does get wedged a little bit, but I was able to get through. With a little bit of a push. Right here, you can go right or left. And the left is definitely a much harder line. You really gotta carry your momentum, then splattered here, right here, which I let off the gas. And now I'm like, well, I've committed, I can't go back. I should have went back. If I thought I was exhausted before, I'm gonna be very exhausted right here. So I get the front tire over, and I get it up wedged, and then I just pull, and I'm pulling. This is a 450. This is no light. It's the WR 450. It's like a tank. And I'm pulling. This guy does give me a little bit of a help pull, but I'm up there. Luckily, I wasn't stopping anybody. They probably saw my struggle and they're like, yeah, I'm not going that way. That guy's dumb. Alright, caught my breath. Then down this slab again. Here's that little guy in the 85 again, man. I don't know how. He kept going ahead, or I'd get ahead, but we were neck and neck the whole time.
Hell yeah, dude.
Even though I wouldn't see him for such a long period of time. And then he'd just pop out of nowhere. He'd be right there. There was the wall. I wanted to hit it. I said, I'm not going to not do this wall. I skipped the first big wall. I'm going to get this one. And I actually was really confident. I'm like, I'm going to do this, no problem. And right at the last, you can't tell, but the rock, I think it was a rock, but I went right into that crack, and it was all over. Once the tire hit that crack, I was done. You can see how steep it is. It's very vertical right there. Finally, I was like, I'm not getting any traction. I'm gonna let out some air. So I let out air to about 4 psi, which I should have gone down to 2. So we weren't going fast at all. I'm used to racing these hair scrambles where you're going like 50 miles an hour, just slamming into rocks. And I've gotten pinch flats that way. But here, my average speed's like 1 mile an hour. I could have I could have just went to 0. Got the maximum traction. It's actually a pretty steep little zap. This guy does help me out, pull my front tire here. Thank you, sir. I'll take this point. I'll take it. In the beginning, you're like, I don't want any help, but now you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Please help me. And now I think the pros don't get any help, but this little C-class amateur, they're just like, yeah, just get through, buddy. No one cares. There's a steep little drop off here. The camera never shows how steep anything is. You guys know that.
Oh, little ledge.
And but the steep, you just gotta let it roll.
Alright.
Don't brake, just let it roll. There we go. No problem. You go left. I'm gonna go right. I think right was the better choice. You can go. Come on, go. Every time I critique myself, I'm always like, why am I taking so long? How come I'm not going faster? Here's a little drop off. That was fun. I pull over here and I got a rest. And thank God I did, because to the left up there is Tristan Hart. He's already lapping me. And he's already done the whole first, or one lap. He's coming on the second lap.
See which way he goes.
Pretty awesome. He just goes right up it. I mean, he doesn't slow it down, doesn't stop, he just makes it look so easy. It was kind of nice because it builds your confidence. I'm like, he just made it look really easy. In my mind, I'm like, it can't be that hard. He just did it. So here I go. Actually started out really good too. I was like, I just saw him do it. I'm like, I can do it. Yeah, go Trixie. Like, she's doing pretty good. So right there. Spin out a little bit. Got back on her though. It's a long hill climb, all slabs. Traction was actually pretty good. This guy dumps it right in front of me. Whenever you're going up and someone dumps it, then you gotta like plan an alternative line or wait. End up waiting, which is good because I was just so damn tired. Got my breath, make a run at it, actually go up pretty good. Chasing people, get out of the way, we're coming through. I'm behind this father and son. It's the kid that on the 85. I don't know what he's riding, but they were with me at the start, and I just kind of stayed with them. No matter what I did, I couldn't pull away. They couldn't pull away. Didn't matter how many times I fell. I gave them a chance to just take off without me. I kept catching up to them. My leg wasn't long enough. I should have
not long enough for that turn.
had a longer leg. Needed an extension on my boot. There's a line there. I knew you could go right here. So I go up here and make a very exhausted, terrible turnaround here. I mean, I was just like, this is terrible. I couldn't turn the bike around. By the time I turn around, people are now blocking me. He's out of the way, boom. Get up that, no problem. That was the easier route. That was the best choice. And there's a really steep drop off here, which I should have just done the drop off, gone left. But when someone else takes a route, it's hard to resist doing their same line. But I should have just gone left. It was steep, but it's one of the drives you just let the bike roll, don't hit the brakes, and the bike will go down. anyways, went through this little crack, which wasn't bad, but I could have went left. Next time, go left. It's a really rocky section through here. It's all downhill, bunch of little drop-offs. I'll get down to the bottom. There's like a sharp left. There's a low line, a mid line, and then for whatever reason I decided to take a high line, which I didn't see any tracks. But it's another one of them. I chose the wrong choice, the wrong line. I might have to rename this channel to the wrong line enduro. So I could have went to the right. There was the middle. There was people waiting, so whenever there's a bottleneck, I'm like, I just don't want to wait. There's got to be another way. There's just some other way. I'm going up here, which I had to walk and push. Actually wasn't too hard to push. I had good traction. There's just, man, if I were to mess up, it was a long drop to the right there. Right here was a nasty section. Climb. It wasn't a good line. You just had to keep plugging away and plugging away. There was a little step up here, and my bike falls back and chucked it. Landed. I was like, yes! It landed on the ledge. Thank you, God. Done with the rock section. Oh, I was relieved. Now we're going through some forest to get to relax. A little trail ride here, it's just easy. It's like the calm before the storm. Yes, the spectators. Woo! There's people hiking around all out here. And my wife, she made it as far as the lodge, but there's some spectators out in the boonies here. They're cheering. I don't even know how they get out here. Now we're coming up to the first checkpoint. Just don't even stop. I just went right through it. First Hard Enduro checkpoint. I'm just like, brown. I think he did yell at me to go left, and I was like, yeah, I need to go left. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna make good choices from here now. Except I make this choice. I could have just went left around this little rock, and I'm splitting that gap because why not? I've made a whole bunch of bad decisions already. Let's just continue the trend here. So I get hung up on here. I mean, it's like it's torturing myself. I'm punishing myself for making bad choices.
You alright? I'm good.
I remember this little creek section here. The guy, when I first started on the line, the guy to my left was this guy. And this is his first race ever, he told me. He's got a 150 there. And so I just caught him. And thank God I did, because he just gets totally trapped under his bike. Like, his race is over if I'm out there to pick up his bike. I told him you're not supposed to let the 150 pin you. Yeah, the 450 is the one that takes you out, not the 150. He was a little bit of a struggle bus at that point. Trixie's like a champ right here. She's really. This is the other section. Trixie just did so well. So, thank you. Finally, my bike is doing what I'm telling it to do. But I do need to breathe. So I come up here, I take a little breather in this nice shady spot. Right back at it. And it's a little uphill. Go left. really rocky section here, but I'm able to get through it. I was doing good. It's the highlight of my Hard Enduro. The Donner Hard Enduro right here. That's my highlight to get through this section. Come on, let's go. What are we doing here? Alright, keep going. This is a really steep drop off. The camera doesn't show you how steep it is, but it was steep. You can just envision yourself flying over the handlebars, smacking into that tree right there. Go, go, what are you waiting for? Oh, I think that's Cooper Abbott. No, I was waiting for him. There you go. Go, Coop. He made it look so easy. And I got cut up right here. And he just plowed through the bushes. I should have just plowed through the bushes. I knew there's some rocks there, but right here I should have just right through it. But I stopped, do a little pivot turn, get back on the trail. Let's go. Really don't get a lot of woods training. I'm always riding the open desert. I need to get better at the tight woods. You can see on the bark, people are hitting that with their handlebars. Donner just has beautiful terrain. I loved riding here. He had creeks like this, big granite slabs, trees. There was a bunch of logs. Like the second half, oh my god, gets into some logs. Which I like riding logs. I just suck at it apparently.
I'm so exhausted.
This little creek, drop into this little creek down here, and there was a guy, he was busted off his clutch lever. And he's, after I get through it, he's like walking through there trying to find his clutch lever. He ends up finding it, but I'm like, ooh. I think I do carry a spare clutch lever on me. Now this was another extremely hard section here. This creek up here was bad. Big line to the right. I waited here for, I don't know, 5 minutes. People were shooting up the middle there. That guy ends up coming back down. I see a guy on the left. I'm like, alright, no one's hit that. I'm going on the left. It's a poor choice. This section, this little spot was so hard for me. I kept falling back and kept falling back. And I know I was probably pissing the hell out of people who wanted to go up here. I was so gassed. I mean, it was almost like desperate. Just falling down. What are you doing?
Son of a bitch.
This was the hard line. I should have went the other way. I don't even know how I get out of here. I mean, I'm watching now and I'm like, this is torture. I just had to ghost ride it out there and get it up there. And there's another section where it was just, I had to pull the bike up. It got caught in this stupid little tree that was next to it. That little tree, that like 3-foot Charlie Brown tree, just hung up on my bike. And finally, I get it up here, and I gotta take a break. Right in the middle of everyone. I was that guy, just couldn't go. I was so gassed. I had to catch my breath. And I just hung out for a while. Got to enjoy the view, got to watch a lot of people, see how they were doing. A couple of pros came through, that was awesome seeing them go. That's Mitch. There's Colton there, he's going to go through, make it look easy. He's doing the easiest line. Well, I mean, he's doing the hard line, but he's making it look easy. And instead of doing that, I go right, which I don't know why I did. Went up to the right here, and then I had to immediately drop back down into the creek. Which, right here, I'm just pushing. So hard pushing up, wasting all this energy just to turn around and drop right back into the creek. Oh, God hates me. I'm so dumb. I mean, you learn so much doing the race. My first Hard Enduro, I loved it. I watched this video and I'm like, oh, I could do so much better next time. That's if I come in conditioned. Which that's hard. The conditioning has to be a huge factor. So there I am, the full circle here. I went up and then back down. Now I'm back in the creek because I'm a genius and make myself do more work than I have to. This creek was my nemesis. It was slick, it had rocks and ruts, and it was just not agreeing with me. Right here, I get front tire in a hole, my back tire's in a hole. I'm like, oh my God, I might not be able to get out. I might be like just abandon the bike here. This is the end. Like, I can't get out of this spot. But I do. I have to rest here for like 20 minutes. This spot was taking everyone out to the right. Everyone's going left, and I just like, go for it. Gunned it, boom, right up. It was one time I was like, oh, I did something right. Going up the creek here, just it's a muddy mess. There's a log up here, and I want to hit this log. Like I really wanted to hit the log, but everyone's like going around the log. I'm like, maybe that's a good choice. I should have hit the log. I do log practicing at my house, and I didn't hit that log. And this right here, you can see this guy. He's sitting there resting. This is so slick. It's not even that. I mean, it's uphill, obviously, but it's not that uphill. And it's just a flat granite with some rock and on it, some dirt, a little bit of mud from the creek. And I get absolutely no traction. We're just stuck here. It's like ice. This could be ice. I think I'd get more traction if this was ice. Can't go anywhere. This is ridiculous. See that guy? Oh my God, that guy just went over the log. That was amazing. I need to be here next time. Whenever you see a log, you gotta go for the log. That's my new rule. If there's a log, hit the log. I must have dumped the bike 20 times here. I could not get going. It was amazing how I could not get traction. And then out of nowhere, it was like the fog cleared, the clouds parted, the rain stopped. The bike just got traction and went up the hill. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that I actually was moving. Sweet, got some logs. I would say, in my defense, I do some log practicing. I'm not bad on them. That rock slab and this Hard Enduro definitely makes a difference when you're so tired and your confidence level's kind of down. The logs can be a little tougher. I'd give it that. Felt so good to get some air flowing. The creek is brutal back there. Smack! Oh, the tree just smacked me right in the face. Up that step, up, go left right there, go left! Why didn't you go left? Ah, now I go left here. And you have to go back. Alright, swung around, see if I would have went left back there, I would have saved myself at least 15 seconds. That's huge, 15 seconds for me. Going up in the bushes here. Come on, Georgie, what are you doing? Get your bike back on the trail. There you go. Use those little pivots. Get up there. Get it. I'm coming up to this little rock slab section, and I'll get my back tire stuck. I could have just gassed it. Could have just like went brap, brap, got over it, but boom, back tire's right in it. And then I get right over that, and there's this fallen tree to the right. My front tire, I didn't take my time. My front tire just slides out right on it. When it goes down, something happens to my throttle. My throttle keeps sticking and sticking. I'm having to like work. I don't know if there's like dirt that's going inside or what's going on, or the bark buster was been on it. But the rest of the race, every once in a while my throttle would be stuck. Not what you want to have is a stuck throttle at a hard enduro. Feel bad. There's one of the I think that was an aid rider behind me. Made him wait. You're right. You know who some of the top guys are, but all the other rest of the field, you really don't know anyone from anyone else. You try to get out of the way when you can. Sometimes you can't get out of the way. You just got to get through that section, or they got to figure out a way around you. It's part of racing. I get it. You're not there to ruin their race either, so I'm trying to get out of the way when I can. Sometimes it's freaking hard. It's hard to get out of the way. Another set. So they have the Hard Enduro today. Tomorrow they're doing a hare scramble. They had a couple of races in the morning of I think the youth race. And I don't know what else they got going on, but like there's a lot of markers. They got arrows this way and that way, and all kinds of arrows going everywhere. Right here, I get a little turn around. I'll cut it out the video, but I started backtracking down the hill and realized I wasn't in the right spot. I had to turn around and come all the way back to this section here. Now these little step ups. Hey, let me pick myself up again. These little step ups, they're about the size of the tire, maybe a little bit higher than the height of the tire. And this was like a wall. I know the video doesn't capture how tall it is. See, they're higher than the tire. It's like a two-tire thing. It's height of two tires.
Yeah! I was wondering how to get up there.
I'm just gonna like ghost ride this one. I know this is gonna. I'm just gonna let it go. Boom.
That counts.
That was a hard one. Up here, and I'm of course facing the wrong direction, so then I gotta do my pivot turns. I need to practice. I practice pivot turns every time I ride, and when I'm tired, I just suck at it. Who Ooh, that was nice. Look at that pivot. See, that was spot on. I'm gonna do that. I'm thinking in my head, alright, put the foot out, just gas it, swing it around. Not bad. Actually, it did pretty good. But then I get stuck here. Like, what the heck? Launch the bike around. Anyways, made it through. Oh my god. That was a tough section. Those little step ups. They're big step ups. But that was one that, as an amateur guy, you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get through that? It wasn't as bad as the creek was, but they were pretty big. I'm going to have to step up my step up game. Oh, this happens the entire race. Why did I go left? I picked the hard line. I should have just went in the middle or went low. And I'm like, no, I'm going up high, and it was the hardest route. See that X back there? The X is supposed to be like danger. You know they do that in Hare and Hounds when you're crossing roads and stuff like that. They'll have an X. But I guess they didn't want you. This is really steep here. They don't want you just flying down to the right, maybe. Here's a little jump across the rock. Made that. Ew. Come here until I T-bone into this rock. These guys are just hanging out, looking at the scenery. They're like, oh man, here comes this sea rider. We better get going. Alright, another wall. This one's steep at the bottom, but on this one I was able to make it up. So finally, I was like, I can do a wall ride, even though I tried going to the right. Watched some other the Donner Hard Enduro videos, and so there's some guys picking some crazy lines, which I see now, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, I gotta start thinking outside the box. There's a lot better lines than what I chose. If you haven't noticed, I have a recurring theme, picking the bad lines. Going the wrong way, maybe a wrong way enduro, that's what I need to call myself. I was able to get pretty good traction through here. I was just exhausted, so don't mind that. I gotta stop saying I was exhausted, because I guarantee everyone's exhausted. Maybe not Tristan or Colton, but everyone's exhausted. There's another steep wall section that I totally fail on.
I did a big
I gotta give it the throttle. I don't know why I'm not giving it the throttle. Just a little bit more juice. Be easy. Keep your finger on the feather of that clutch. I mean, I'm riding a 450. It has a ton of power. And I'm skipping the wall. I was too exhausted. I was like, I can't fight this wall. So I went around the left and cut in front of this girl right here. I felt bad because this pivot turn just took me forever to. We're about halfway through my race. I'll have the second part coming out here, the second half of the race coming out here next video. Till then, go out and ride and get some.